Welcome back to Dreamy Train Tales. Thank you for joining me tonight. Now let's settle down and begin our journey together. If this brings you peace, please like and subscribe so we can explore more historic railways together, but only if it truly helps you unwind. And if you'd like, please share in the comments where you're listening from and what time of day it is for you right now. Tonight, you find yourself at the Calgary station, where the air is sharp with winter cold and snow drifts gently beneath the glow of gas lamps. The platform is lined with bundled figures, steam curling from their breath as they wait beside piles of luggage, muffled in the thick silence of the season. The ground crunches beneath your boots, a familiar sound softened by the falling snow. Overhead, the sky is already dimming, the last streaks of orange fading into deep blue as night prepares to settle across the Canadian prairie. Before we begin this journey together, take a moment to settle in wherever you are. Let your shoulders relax and breathe slowly, letting the air move easily in and out. Feel the stillness gather around you, a calm presence, like the snow that falls softly onto the earth. Allow the steady rhythm of this historic railway to carry away the weight of your day. The train before you is tall and imposing, its black iron engine gleaming beneath a light dusting of snow. Steam hisses upward, forming clouds that glow in the lamplight, and the brass fixtures catch the flicker of lanterns, shining against the darkening night. Carriages stretch in a long glowing line, their windows radiating warmth, golden and inviting against the winter's chill. You step aboard, the wooden floor creaking beneath your weight, and instantly the cold begins to lift. The interior is rich with polished wood, soft lamplight, and deep upholstered seats. The air smells faintly of pine from garlands strung along the walls, reminders of the season and of the natural forests beyond the city. You ease into your seat, feeling its warmth envelop you as the sounds of the station grow muffled outside. The conductor calls the final boarding, his voice carrying across the frosty air, and slowly the train exhales, its engine humming, wheels shifting into readiness. A bell chimes, the whistle echoes, long and mournful, floating out into the night. And then, with a gentle lurch, the train begins to move, the platform slipping past, figures waving, lights fading into the distance. Calgary, in the early years of the 20th century, was a place of rapid growth, transformed by the arrival of the Canadian Pacific Railway decades earlier. Founded as a small fort in the 1870s, it became a vital hub, its streets alive with carriages and early motor cars, its buildings a blend of frontier practicality and modern ambition. Tonight, though, the bustle falls away as you leave the city behind, entering the quiet sweep of prairie that lies between the foothills and the great mountains beyond. The rhythm of the wheels steadies, a soft, repetitive music that fills the carriage. You rest your hand against the window, the glass cool beneath your palm, and gaze out into the winter evening. Snow stretches endlessly across the land, broken only by fences and bare clusters of trees, their branches etched in frost. The stars begin to appear above, scattered pinpoints of light against the growing indigo sky. Each breath you take is slower now, deeper, matching the steady cadence of the train as it carries you further west. The lamps in the carriage flicker softly, casting gentle shadows that dance across polished wood and brass fixtures. A steward moves quietly between rows, offering warm drinks in delicate porcelain cups. You accept, wrapping your hands around the cup's warmth, feeling it seep into your fingers. The scent of tea mingles with faint notes of coal smoke and pine, creating a sense of comfort, of stillness, of being exactly where you need to be. As the train continues its westward journey, you notice how the sound of the wheels grows softer in your awareness, as if they're no longer just the sound of travel, but the sound of rest itself. The gentle clicking blends with your breath, with your heartbeat, until you feel suspended between motion and stillness, completely at ease. The snow outside glitters under the moonlight now, the land transformed into a shimmering expanse, endless and quiet, untouched by anything but the train's passage. This railway, completed in the 1880s, was one of the great undertakings of its time, binding together the eastern provinces with the vast lands of the west. It carried settlers, goods, and dreams across a continent, shaping the story of a nation. Tonight, you travel along that same path, not in haste or hardship, but in peace, carried forward by the strength of steel, the promise of arrival, and the steady lull of its rhythm. The city is far behind now, the prairies stretching wide and silent, the first faint rise of foothills visible in the distance. You lean back, letting the carriage rock you gently, and close your eyes for a moment, listening to the sound of the train as it pulls you deeper into the night. The train presses forward into the deepening night, its wheels singing against the steel rails, steady and unhurried. The prairie stretches endlessly behind, fading into shadows, while ahead, the first undulations of the foothills rise gently against the horizon. Snow drapes them in a soft white cloak, glowing faintly beneath the moonlight, giving the land a hushed, timeless quality. Inside the carriage, warmth surrounds you, the golden lamplight softening the polished wood and brass fixtures, while the steady sway of the train lulls you further into calm. You shift slightly in your seat, the upholstery cradling your back, and let your head rest against the cushion. The hum of the engine is deeper now, more insistent, as though preparing itself for the climb to come. Outside, the land has grown less uniform. Rivers winding through the snow, their surfaces frozen into ribbons of silver under the moon's pale glow. Small farms and scattered cabins appear here and there, their chimneys sending threads of smoke into the frosty air, lights glowing faintly in windows that seem to call out a quiet goodnight. The foothills you see now mark the beginning of the grand ascent. In the early days of the Canadian Pacific Railway, these slopes posed immense challenges to surveyors and engineers. The land was unpredictable, fractured by rivers, ridges, and rock, yet determination carved a path westward, laying the iron road that now carries you forward. As you think of this history, your breath deepens, your shoulders easing back, each detail of the land and its story adding to the sense of stillness. The wheels click softly beneath you, a rhythmic counterpoint to your breath, each turn of the axle carrying you further from the ordinary world, deeper into a place of calm. You notice the frost patterns on the window now, intricate designs etched by the cold, like delicate lace framing the view. Beyond them, the trees are taller, evergreens cloaked in snow, their branches bending slightly under the weight, silent sentinels marking the path into the mountains. The steward returns, his steps quiet, offering a refill of hot tea. This time, he adds a small slice of lemon, its scent bright against the gentle heaviness of winter air. You sip slowly, feeling the warmth spread through you, the taste mingling with the faint scent of coal and pine that drifts through the carriage. Around you, fellow passengers have grown quieter, their voices little more than murmurs, blending into the sound of the train itself. Some rest with eyes closed, others gaze dreamily through frosted windows, each one carried into their own private reverie. The train curves gently, the track bending around a frozen river, its surface gleaming like glass in the starlight. The moon, nearly full, casts a silver glow across the water, and the reflection of the train shimmers faintly as though it too is part of the night's dreamscape. You feel your breath match this rhythm, slow and deep, as though each inhale draws in the quiet of the snow, and each exhale releases the weight of your day. This section of the journey was once known for its wildlife crossings. Early travelers often saw elk and deer moving gracefully across the snow, their forms blending into the forest. Tonight, you imagine their silent steps, the way they pause to lift their heads, ears turning to the distant sound of the train, before vanishing once more into the shadowed trees. Even without seeing them, the thought adds a sense of wonder, a reminder that this land has its own stories, woven deeply into every mountain and river. As the train continues upward, the gradient becomes more noticeable. The hum of the engine deepens, the wheels gripping firmly, the sound of steel on steel resonating in your chest. The movement remains steady, never rushed, but with a quiet strength, like a heartbeat guiding you onward. You shift slightly, adjusting the blanket over your lap, and feel how your body has grown heavier, more relaxed, as though each mile has settled you further into rest. You glance across the carriage, where a group of travelers share a quiet conversation in French, their voices soft, words lilting like a lullaby. Another passenger hums faintly to themselves, the tune low and melodic, blending with the rhythm of the train. These sounds weave together into a tapestry of calm, human voices mingling with the steady breath of the engine, a harmony of warmth against the vast winter outside. The foothills rise higher now, slopes dotted with evergreens, their dark forms striking against the snow. The train passes over a wooden trestle bridge, the sound shifting to a hollow resonance, echoing beneath you before returning to its steady rhythm on the solid ground beyond. You look down to see a frozen stream far below, its white surface catching the moonlight, framed by rocks and snow-covered banks. The height brings no fear, only awe, a reminder of the scale of the land and of the path carved by those who laid these tracks. In 1885, when the Canadian Pacific Railway was finally completed, the last spike was driven at carriage, just west of here, marking the unification of the nation from sea to sea. That same determination now carries you forward, through land once thought impossible to cross, toward the towering peaks that wait beyond. Thinking of that history fills you with quiet respect, a sense of being part of something larger, as though your own journey is a thread woven into the fabric of this great railway. Snow begins to fall again, light flakes drifting down in the moonlight, catching in the branches, glinting against the lamplight of the carriage. You watch them gather on the glass, tiny crystals melting slowly against its warmth, their fleeting forms vanishing like dreams. The sound of the train continues, steady and low, blending with the silence of the falling snow until it feels as though the entire world has slowed to the same rhythm. The foothills are now fully behind, and the train winds into valleys where cliffs rise steeply on either side, their rocky faces dusted with snow, their heights stretching into the darkness above. You sense the nearness of the great mountains now, their presence unmistakable, even unseen in the night. The air grows cooler as you pass through, a freshness drifting in through the cracks, filling your lungs with crisp clarity, before settling back into the warmth of the carriage. Your breath continues its gentle rhythm, your shoulders loose, your body heavy with rest. The train carries you upward, through forests, over rivers, past the scattered lights of settlements, each one glowing like a beacon in the snowy night. You let each sight pass through you, like thoughts that come and go, leaving only calm in their wake. And so, the early climb continues, each mile a step deeper into the mountains, each sound a note in the lullaby of the rails. You close your eyes once more, letting the motion hold you, the story of the land mingling with the rhythm of your breath, as the night deepens and the journey carries you onward. The train presses higher into the mountains, the rhythm of its wheels echoing through valleys and along snow-covered slopes. The night is deep now, yet the lamps within the carriage glow steadily, their warm light reflecting off polished wood and brass fittings. You feel the motion in your body, not jolting or sharp, but slow and deliberate, as though each turn of the wheels is a heartbeat guiding you further into stillness. Outside the window, the world has changed. The foothills have given way to towering mountains, their peaks lost in the darkness, their slopes draped in snow that glistens faintly in the moonlight. Cliffs rise on either side of the track, vast and unyielding, while frozen rivers gleam silver below, winding like ribbons through shadowed valleys. You lean back in your seat, blanket resting gently across your lap, and allow your eyes to follow the sweep of the land. The engine breathes heavily now, its power rising to meet the incline. Each exhale of steam emerges as a white plume in the cold night air, drifting upward before vanishing into the sky. The whistle sounds, long and low, carried across the valley, bouncing softly from mountain walls before dissolving into silence. The sound is both commanding and comforting, a reminder that even in this immense wilderness, you are not alone. The Canadian Pacific Railway faced immense challenges carving this path through the Rockies. Engineers battled steep grades, shifting rock and avalanches to lay track where many thought it impossible. The spiral tunnels, introduced in the early 1900s, were a solution to the dangerous Kicking Horse Pass, looping the train within the mountain itself to ease the climb. Tonight, as your journey continues, you pass through similar feats of engineering, feeling the train slow as it enters a dark tunnel, the sound of the wheels shifting into an echo that fills the carriage before giving way once more to the open air. Inside, you sense the subtle hush that falls as the tunnel swallows the train. Passengers grow still, eyes lifted, waiting, while the lamps flicker faintly against stone walls that glide just beyond the glass. The echo amplifies the rhythm of the wheels, each click bouncing back, a steady drumbeat guiding you through. Then, suddenly, the darkness opens, and you emerge into moonlight once more, the sudden sight of the valley stretching out beneath you like a vast, frozen sea. You let your breath deepen, matching the tempo of the train, each inhale pulling in the cool crispness of mountain air, each exhale releasing tension, thought, and effort. The motion of the train has become your rhythm, each sway a cradle, each sound a lullaby. The snow outside thickens, drifting down in large flakes, their patterns visible for a moment in the lamplight before dissolving into white. The world beyond the window fades into a blur, indistinct and soft, until only the steady fall of snow remains, a curtain of calm that wraps the night in silence. You imagine the train from outside, a glowing line of warmth cutting through the darkness, carrying its passengers safely through the storm, a moving refuge in a vast frozen wilderness. Your thoughts drift to Banff, the alpine town that has grown alongside this railway. Established in the late 1880s, it became Canada's first national park, a place where travelers could rest and marvel at the mountain's beauty. Hot springs, timber lodges, and the grand Banff Springs Hotel rose from this landscape, drawing visitors from across the world. You picture these lights ahead, glowing in the snowy night, waiting patiently, like a hearth calling you home. For now, though, the train carries you deeper into the pass. Bridges stretch across chasms, the sound beneath shifting into a hollow resonance, a reminder of the height and the feat of crossing. You glance downward and see nothing but darkness, the depth hidden beneath snow and shadow, yet you feel no fear. The strength of the rails, the calm of the motion, the unwavering rhythm of the train reassure you, holding you in safety as the world passes quietly beneath. A fellow traveler nearby shifts in their seat, drawing their coat tighter, before settling back into rest. Another lowers a window shade, softening the glow of lamplight. The steward moves with care, checking on passengers, his steps slow and deliberate, each gesture unhurried. The atmosphere is hushed, as though the train itself is guiding everyone into quiet, into calm, into rest. The peaks grow higher around you now, their outlines faint against the star-filled sky. Clouds drift between them, pale and luminous, moving like slow rivers through the valleys. The snow continues its fall, soft and unending, wrapping the mountains in silence. You rest your head gently against the cushion, eyes heavy, watching the white drift until your vision blurs, the rhythm of the train pulling you further inward. This railway was more than a path through wilderness. It was a lifeline, uniting provinces, carrying settlers, and shaping a young nation. It made the mountains accessible, their beauty no longer distant, but a destination. As you ride now, over steel bridges, through carved tunnels, and along sheer cliffs, you feel connected to that legacy, part of a story written in snow and stone, iron and steam. The train whistles again. It sounds softer this time, muffled by snowfall, as though the mountains themselves absorb it. The sound lingers in your chest, reverberating like a deep sigh, before dissolving into stillness. The wheels continue their rhythm, steady and soothing, each turn of the axle carrying you closer to rest. You draw the blanket higher, tucking it beneath your chin, feeling warmth spread through your body. The motion of the train sways you, gentle and constant, like the rocking of a cradle. Each breath grows slower, each thought lighter, until only the sensation of movement remains, carrying you forward, deeper into calm, deeper into sleep. The Rockies surround you, immense and timeless. Yet here in the carriage, you are small, safe, and at ease. The train holds you, the night embraces you, and the journey continues, steady and sure, into the heart of the mountains. The train begins its long descent toward Banff, the rhythm of the wheels slowing, the engine's breath softer now, less urgent than before. Outside the window, the snowfall eases, revealing glimpses of the valley below, where the Bow River winds through the snow like a silver thread. Pines rise along its banks, tall and dark, their branches heavy with white. The peaks beyond frame the valley in jagged silhouettes, their tops lost to clouds that drift lazily across the night sky. You watch this world unfold, the sharp grandeur of the Rockies softened by the quiet of winter, and feel a calmness seep through you as if the mountains themselves are leaning closer to whisper rest. Inside the carriage, the atmosphere is hushed, passengers wrapped in blankets, their heads resting against cushions, lulled by the steady sway of the train. The lamplight glows warmly, casting gentle patterns on the polished wood, reflections of brass fittings flickering like stars. You let your gaze follow these small movements, noticing how they shift with the train's motion, slow and deliberate, always returning to stillness. Your breath falls into the same rhythm, deepening, steadying, carrying you further from the day and into the quiet of night. The town of Banff, nestled in this valley, was established soon after the discovery of nearby hot springs in the 1880s. It became a place of healing and wonder, drawing travelers from across the world. The Canadian Pacific Railway built grand hotels here, most notably the Banff Springs Hotel, a castle-like structure that welcomed guests into the heart of the mountains. You imagine its windows glowing in the distance, light spilling into the snowy night, waiting like a beacon to greet those arriving from the long journey west. As the train curves along the valley's edge, bridges carrying it across frozen streams, you catch sight of faint lights below. Cabins are scattered along the riverbanks, smoke rising in soft spirals from their chimneys, blending with the pale mist above the water. The scene is quiet, timeless, a glimpse of life lived in harmony with the seasons, in step with the mountains. You picture the families within, gathered around fires, their voices hushed, their bodies warmed, while outside the night continues its silent watch. The whistle sounds again, not urgent, but low and mellow, its note carried along the valley, fading into the forest. It marks your nearness to Banff, the final stretch of the journey, though the motion remains unhurried, the pace measured and calm. The wheels hum softly, the sway of the carriage gentle, every sound and movement designed to soothe, to ease you toward rest. A steward moves quietly down the aisle, checking on passengers one last time before arrival. His presence is calm, his steps careful, the fabric of his coat brushing softly as he passes. He adjusts a lamp, tucks a blanket more snugly over a sleeping traveler, then nods with a faint smile as he sees you still awake. The small kindnesses add to the sense of warmth, of care, of being held in comfort as the night deepens. You glance once more through the window and see the mountains glowing faintly in the moonlight. The snow has stopped now, the sky clearing to reveal stars scattered across the heavens, a bright, unbroken canopy of light. Their reflection glitters on the river below, mingling with the lights of Banff that grow clearer with each mile. The sight is breathtaking, yet not overwhelming, for it arrives gently, like the closing of a story, like the soft folding of a page. The train slows further, the engine's steady hum diminishing, the wheels easing with each turn. The motion is almost imperceptible now, a slow rocking, a quiet cradle. Your body feels heavy with rest, every muscle softened, every breath slow and deep. You no longer notice where the train ends and your own rhythm begins, the two blending seamlessly, carrying you together into stillness. The platform comes into view, lanterns glowing warmly, their light spilling across snow-dusted stone. Figures wait there, bundled against the cold, their outlines blurred by the mist that rises from the valley floor. The train glides in without haste, its motion slowing until it comes to rest with the gentlest sigh. You feel the pause resonate through the carriage, not abrupt but smooth, as if the train itself has settled into sleep. You remain in your seat, no need to rush, no need to rise. The warmth of the blanket holds you, the hush of the carriage surrounds you, the glow of the lamps rests against your closed eyes. The journey has brought you to Banff, but more than that, it has brought you into quiet, into peace, into the threshold of sleep itself. The whistle sounds one last time, softer than before, like a farewell. Outside, the mountains stand tall and silent, guardians of the night, while inside, you surrender to the calm that now fills every corner of your being. The story has carried you here, steady and sure, and now it lets you go, into dreams, into rest, into sleep. As the journey draws to its close, the train rests quietly in Banff, its lamps glowing, its breath stilled. The rhythm that carried you across valleys and mountains lingers in your body, a soft echo, guiding you into calm. You feel your breath slow, each inhale deep and soothing, each exhale long and releasing. The night around you is still, the stars above bright, the mountains unmoving, timeless. You are cocooned in this quiet, wrapped in warmth, safe in the cradle of the train. Your body grows heavier with each passing moment, your thoughts drifting further away, dissolving like snowflakes in the night. The gentle sway of the carriage remains in your awareness, rocking you ever so slightly, a reminder of the journey's steady rhythm. You allow this motion to guide you, to ease you deeper into rest. There is no need for thought, no need for effort, only the soft surrender into sleep. You release the last of the day, the last of the noise, the last of the weight you carried. All that remains is stillness, comfort, peace. The journey has ended, but its calm remains with you, holding you gently as you drift. Let yourself rest now, knowing that you are safe, knowing that sleep is close, knowing that dreams are waiting. Sweet dreams and good night.